So I'm really not sure what these are going to end up like. All I know is I want them to be quite expressive and probably stay quite raw.
Hello, how are we all? If you're new here, I'm Janine, I'm an artist and I share my creative journey on this channel. I have just finished these amazing paintings behind me, at least I think so. I want to add some smaller paintings to this series because I have mostly big canvases and then some kind of medium, smallish sized. But I really like those cute, tiny 20 by 20 paintings that I made for my last series. So I think I'm going to do some of those. And I've got some wooden panels prepped and I'll take you along with me.
One of my favourite exercises is where you have a large sheet of paper and then cut that up into smaller pieces or divide it with masking tape, and then you paint over the whole surface and then chop them up after, and you'll end up with individual pieces that are really nice little paintings, and you always get quite surprising results. So I've got these here, which are wood panels that I've sealed on all sides with gloss medium, and then I've put on one layer of white gesso, and I've arranged them so they're all connecting. And I wanted to try that exercise that I like with the dividing the paper on the wood panels, because that'll give me a good start where I don't, because at the beginning I don't have to really think about what I'm doing. It's very intuitive at the beginning. So I want to embrace that and just start with bold marks on these and then divide them up after and then carry on working on them. So these are going to be part of my recent series. I'm just adding these smaller bits because I feel like I could do with a few small ones. One of my favorites was actually on my larger paintings that I did recently was actually where I had these bright magenta marks with soft pastel. So this is Jackson's own brand, Handmade Soft Pastels, and this one is 213 Carmine. I think I'm going to change the colours as I go along. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I'm just going to make some quite expressive marks. And not really think about the divisions. I'm just kind of trying to ignore them. And now that I've said I'm going to move along with the colour, I've actually spread the pink all over, but that doesn't matter. Then maybe some of this really bright orange, which is just called light orange. And these marks aren't actually going to stay like this, so I'm really not precious about what marks I'm making here. You'll see what I mean in a minute. You can maybe already guess. And this is a nice blue that I've also liked in my larger paintings where I've used it. And that one is light cobalt blue. It gets quite dark once you add something wet, like a fluid acrylic medium, which I'm going to do in a minute. I am noticing that I'm not being as expressive as I probably would be on paper or a smooth surface, because I've got these little divisions and they're kind of, you see what I did here? It caught the pastel and that like broke a big chunk of the pastel off, and that's going to get very messy, isn't it? And the last one I'm going to add is this one, which is red oxide. I really love this one too. So I'm really not sure what these are going to end up like. All I know is I want them to be quite expressive and probably stay quite raw, which is what I've done with the rest of my series. So now I'm going to add some acrylic fluid matte medium, which is by Jackson's, but it really doesn't matter what medium, as long as it's an acrylic medium which dries clear, which I think pretty much all of them do. And this is very fluid, so I can spread it easily. So I'm just going to squeeze some on here and then spread it out with a brush. And you see how this moves the pigment around a lot, so it won't really stay like the marks that I've initially put down, but instead it gives me these really interesting effects and happy accidents, which I love in my paintings. And also because it picks up a lot of the pigment, I basically have a really thin layer of colour, like a glaze. I'm really just enjoying the process at this stage. I'm just enjoying how this pigment and the medium spreads on the panels. And the more you go over these marks, the more they move, and the more you kind of erase them. And if you just go over really gently, a lot of it stays in place. And the nice thing about adding the medium is that it not only creates these amazing effects, it also, once it's dry, means that the pastel doesn't move around anymore. It's fixed in place. And because it adds a nice thin layer of pigment everywhere, it means that I've gotten rid of that harsh white of the gesso background. And then I'm going to let that dry before I work any more on it. So what I'm trying to do in these early layers is actually add as much texture as possible. Visual texture. So the next thing I want to try is adding some acrylic paint pen. Let's start with this Liquitex Acrylic Marker in burnt sienna. And again, I'm just sort of staying loose, not really thinking about composition or anything. I'm thinking a little bit about color. You see, this kind of goes with the other colors that are already there, but I'm not really thinking about composition. I'm mainly just focusing on getting a variety in the kind of marks that I've got. Then I've got this Posca pen, which is light orange. And you see again, this kind of goes with the other colours that are already here. I've already got some orange. And in trying to vary my marks, I try and make some, you see, some more dotty marks and then some more line work, but also I'm adding some more solid areas of colour, like this. It does sometimes pick up a little bit of the pigment still. Thing where I've had the little clumps of soft pastel, they are still moving a little bit. And if I've already got a lot of line work here, I'm trying to put something different there. Then I'm going to add something brighter, which is this yellow, cadmium yellow. Which is also the Liquitex Acrylic Marker. And I'm still trying to ignore all the divisions, so I'm not too influenced, trying to already think about the finished piece too much, because I still want to invite happy accidents, kind of take my hand out of it a little bit. I've also got this dark one, which is slate grey. It looks quite bluish, but once you apply it and it dries, it is pretty grey. This one's also a Posca Marker. I do want to keep them overall fairly light, so I'm just going to use this one quite sparingly. And then lastly, I'm going to add some of this one, which is unbleached titanium. This is a really nice, soft, creamy beige colour. And then I want to add a bit more of a rough texture with this kind of, it's quite a bristly brush. This is just from the hardware store. And I've got some pre-mixed colours here. I'm going to start with this blue. It's like a lightish blue, but once it's dry, the value of it is actually fairly dark. Not dark, but it's more of a medium value. So it depends on how you combine it with other values, whether it looks dark or light, obviously. I'm doing a lot of dry brushing with just a little bit of paint on there. That will create kind of a very textured effect. And also be quite transparent still, because I do want to keep it fairly light. And then maybe I also add in some more solid paint.
If you like this video, consider subscribing.
Just to balance that texture. But I will probably add the more solid areas later once I've separated all the pieces out. And then I'm going to use some of this mauvey colour. It's like a lilac-y pink, but again, once it dries, it actually looks fairly dark. And I'm still trying to vary the way I use the brush, which then also varies the kind of marks I'm making. So whether I twist it like this, which is a very open texture, or if I scrub like that, then it's a bit more of a dense texture. And then I think now it's looking pretty crazy, so I'm going to let it dry and also look at them individually. Now I'm going to separate them.
So I thought that was really fun to do it this way, to add all the pieces together and then just go nuts with mark making. I can definitely recommend starting this way. If you have several pieces to do at once. It's probably a little bit more difficult with canvas because you've got that little edge going down. You can definitely do it with paper. If you want to see the one that I did with paper, have a look at the link in the description box. And if you're brand new to intuitive painting and you would like to give it a try, I have actually made a free guide, which is the No Pressure Path to Painting, and you can download that in the description box. It gives you lots of steps on how to get started if you don't know what you're doing with intuitive painting or painting in general. Maybe you've never painted before and you would like to give it a go. Have a look. Until then, thanks and bye bye.